What is up, Floki Vikings? Cobra Kai here. Looks like we've got just a few people in. Congratulations to the early joiners. Excited. We've got a special day for you guys today. So we'll let some folks file in here for just a minute and then we'll get cracking. Okay. Gonna wait just a minute here, guys, and let people start to file in so they can hear the introduction here. And we will get started. Very exciting day today. The very first edition of the Valhalla Fireside Chat, which looks like it might be a series. Don't want to leak anything now, but there could be future episodes. So we thought that we would start here at Floki to spread the word through spaces here recently. And then I started to do this chat, which is typically Valhalla focused, going to Valhalla on Wednesdays. And from there, this sprung up. I actually was able to meet a few people in the space in gaming, in NFTs, play to earn, influencers, YouTubers, and it's been a really, really fun experience. So we started this new series today, and I'm very, very excited about it. We've got a very, very special guest today, and we'll get to her in just a moment here. First, I wanted to talk about the proper way to ask questions. So we have issues with spaces here a lot, especially when we're trying to unmute people. Our special guest today is actually taking time out of her day on a lunch break to be here with us. So I don't want to end up in a situation where we're trying to flip back and forth to take questions. So if you do have a question, join our Telegram. It is t.me Floki Inu token. That is our verified Telegram. It's the only one we have. If you have a question, you can go into the Telegram. It's also in the official Floki Twitter account. There's a link tree there that has that link. You can just at me in the official chat. It is at Cobra Kai V as in Victor, V as in Victor at Cobra Kai VV, and I have that chat open right now, and I can see it on my screen. So if you do have a question, something that you'd like for us to cover when the questions come up, please. It's going to be kind of an interview slash conversation here, a fireside chat, if you will. But when we do start to open it up for questions near the end, please feel free to drop those in there if you've got them. With that being said, without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest. Welcome, Vikings. Our guest for the first ever Valhalla Fireside Chat is Erica Cheever. Erica works with Geckstein Media, who many of you probably know in the space, and hosts their very special series On Chain Gaming with Erica Cheever. That's every Thursday at 11 p.m. UTC. She is a lifelong gamer. She spent countless hours mastering multiple games. She is naturally drawn to the blockchain gaming after she started with Bitcoin in 2007 as an early crypto adopter. She's an office worker by day, mother and gamer by night. Erica knows her stuff when it comes to why games are successful, where they fall short, and what makes a game fun. She recently returned from a trip to NFT NYC convention where actually she came back feeling a little bit sick, a little under the weather. So I want to welcome Erica. We're really, really happy you're here. Um, couldn't be more excited. I hope that you're feeling better. Did you bring your hot tea today?
Hey, Cobra. Thank you for having me. I do. I have a fresh cup of hot peach tea, so I am ready to go.
Okay, very good. I'm glad that you're feeling a little better. Your voice sounds loud and clear. So you might need to talk to our Floki legend Lintern. He is a hot tea advocate. He does a lot of spaces for us here, and he swears by the stuff, but I don't drink it personally. So thank you for joining us today. Like I said, I couldn't be more excited to have you here. Let's start out here and talk about you a little bit. I want to hear how you got into gaming. Can you tell me something about that?
Yeah, definitely. And I am super excited to be here. Just like a little bit of backstory about us. Like we met during one of my spaces. It was just an open discussion, and you came up, and we just kind of started vibing. And I really respected your input and everything that you were adding to the conversation. And so I'm super excited to be here. And thanks for having me on as your first guest. So yeah, with that out of the way, I have been a gamer probably since I was about maybe 6 years old, I guess. That well, at least that's when I first started playing. My friend in grade school, she actually had a Nintendo and I didn't. And so we were always at her house playing Nintendo, and that was really the jump start of, me like being able to play these super fun things and just like get lost in it and play with friends and everything like that. So first game was Mario, believe it or not. so so yeah, it started with Mario, and then from there, it's obviously a huge world of every type of imaginal character. So, and then my brother, he's older than me, and so he like talked my mom into getting. I think it was a Sega actually is what we got. I don't know why we didn't get a Nintendo, but we got a Sega, and so then like we were always playing together, and then like from there, just in middle school and high school, playing games like Roller Coaster Tycoon and The Sims, and then in college getting more into like MMORPGs and now into blockchain gaming. It's just I just kind of like nested myself into this community, and I don't think I'll ever stop playing games, to be honest with you. When I retire, like it's on.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. So we're going to have a retired granny gamer. That's what we need in this world is some granny gamers. Well, that's really exciting. I'm going to learn a lot today about you, but I'm sure that we have so much more in common because I too got started on Nintendo and Mario. So I want to dig into that a little bit deeper with you here. So you've started at Mario. You're all the way to blockchain gaming now. Can you tell me what your favorites are? I need a favorite Nintendo game as well too because Mike Tyson's Punch Out needs to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna go with Mario for my favorite Nintendo game, just because it was the first one that I played, and I think it's really stood the test of time. There's been a lot of games that, side scrollers, like we still have them today, and it's the nostalgia, and that's my absolute favorite game of all time. Sorry, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but yeah, it's got to be Mario.
Okay, no worries there. And then as we move on, what games are you into now? What are you playing today?
Yeah, definitely. So I love games where you can build and kind of like micromanage and real-time strategy. So games like Civilization, Age of Empires. Age of Empires is actually what I'm playing right now. So they have a pretty new one out, Age of Empires 4, and that's my jam. I just get lost in it.
Nice, nice. I think that as we get further into the Valhalla discussions today, we'll find that there's a lot of you can bridge the gap between a game like Age of Empires or the game that I played for so long, Clash of Clans, or Pokemon. I mean, there's so many aspects that are in Valhalla, which we'll get to here shortly after we continue a little more about your background here. I wanted also to know how you got drawn into specifically this NFT, P2E gaming space. You just came back from the NFT NYC convention, is that right?
Yes, I sure did. I just got back on Saturday actually. So it was super fun. I would recommend it to anybody who can go. Definitely go, especially if you've made some friends over Twitter Spaces or in your communities. It's really nice to meet everybody. Definitely. But how I got into blockchain gaming is it wasn't really. I'm kind of surprised actually. So being I've been into crypto since 2017. The first coin that I got into was actually Bitcoin. And it's funny, I think I bought like $25 and then I transfer it. And at that time, the transfer fees were so high, it was like $20 to transfer it. So then I was left with $5. And so that was like my first experience. And I was like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? And so then, I just kind of got into YouTube, watched some videos and all of that. But yeah, that's when I first got into everything.
I love
But
hearing that story.
yeah, I mean, a costly mistake, but hey, at least it was only $20, so it's all good. But yeah, so pretty much I was in it from 2017, and then if anybody remembers, everything just crashed, like burned to hell, red portfolio. I hodled for 3 years until 2021. And then that's kind of when like GameStop and AMC and all of that was going on. And so I was on Reddit. And then through there, I somehow like found my way onto Twitter. And then it was Dogecoin was like pumping to the moon and everything was going crazy. And then Twitter came out with Spaces. And so then, like, once I discovered spaces, I was like, oh my gosh, there's other people in this world who want to talk about crypto 24/7. And, they don't want to like sneak out of their room to like go do something else. And so I found this like amazing community and I just started meeting people who I definitely would call like my friends. Now I've met some of them in real life, but so I found this like cool community on Twitter Spaces, and it was kind of like addicting at first because I went from like nobody to really talk to about crypto to like all of a sudden all of these people who wanted to. And so I remember like when Spaces first started, we were all on Spaces forever, and like people would fall asleep on it, and then like we'd like wake up and talk on our way to commuting to work and all of that. And then just from being on Spaces, I got to know David. He was the CEO of Gokhshtein Media. I'll just call it G Media from here on out, just because it's a little bit easier. But so yeah, I started going into David's Spaces, and he's got a lot of really good information. He's influential, I would say, in the space. And then I started meeting some of these other people, and just from that and being on Spaces and getting more comfortable with talking on them, I was approached by them to become an AMA host. And I have to tell you, it was scary as hell. I was like, oh my gosh, like, can I do this? I can do it. Can I? Yeah, no. And I kind of went back and forth, but I was like, you know what? Seize the opportunity, seize the day. You can do this. Like, you need to be, the strongest woman that you can and set an example. And anybody can do this. And so I was like, all right, let's go. And they were like, well, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, well, gaming. I want to talk about gaming because it started with like CryptoKitties in 2016 and then Axie Infinity. And then I think there was like a little bit of a lull. And then with NFTs coming into full circle in 2021, and then NFT games kind of coming like directly behind that, I started realizing that more and more games were coming into focus. And so I was like, let's harness this. Like, let's get in here, let's do a show about on-chain gaming. And with my gaming experience and crypto experience, it was really kind of like it was like this epiphany moment where this light bulb went off and I was like, oh my god, like I'm supposed to be here right now, like this is my thing. And so yeah, it's been like really amazing. And I feel like really lucky. And it's hard work, but yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it.
Very, very cool. Thank you for sharing. I think that everybody here has a crypto story. You guys all probably remember how you got in. I know I sure do. Our stories are quite similar, Erica. I actually bought my first Bitcoin at a bar in 2015, I think it was. And yeah, those times were crazy. It was hilarious to hear your story about, transferring Bitcoin and paying a $20 fee for a $25 transfer. And how far we've come since then is just incredible. In gaming, I was there for Mario as well, all the way to where we are now today with these incredible games, the metaverse. Um, we've just got so much to look forward to in the space. Recently, I saw that even Grand Theft Auto, the new one that's coming out, may be incorporating a cryptocurrency, some kind of a system into their game. It's all rumor, but that just goes to show you that I think play to earn and metaverse gaming is here to stay. It is the future. It's a new way of doing things, and a lot of folks out there are trying to figure it out, and we're progressing. I can remember when we went from Mario Brothers to that Sega that you talked about, which was Sonic the Hedgehog, right? And then we went from Sonic the Hedgehog to a Nintendo 64, Mario Kart. The Ocarina of Time was one that I got lost in. I absolutely got lost in that game on N64. I think I failed the class in university actually because of that game. And I see a lot of, for some reason, with Valhalla, it just reminds me of that game for some reason, and that's why I got so excited about it because it's one of my all-time favorites. So I am not really into the NFT space. The first NFT that I ever bought was one of our flow guitars for Valhalla, and now I am addicted, I'll just say, to the Valhalla NFTs. That's the Flow guitars and our Genesis NFTs, and they have some utility in the game. And I think that's really, really important. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit today because you are an NFT guru, and I think I can learn a lot from you. You just came back from this NFT convention. What are you seeing in that space? For me, they're just JPEGs and what the original NFTs were in a lot of cases. And now I'm seeing these utility NFTs come out, like for instance our Genesis, which gives you advantages in Valhalla, like you can have a long ship attribute, which allows you to take your clan members out on raids with you. You have a long ship, right? So somebody that has a long ship NFT would be a valuable asset to have in your clan. And then the Floki Tars, which was a limited run, 10,000 total supply. You have to burn those in the game in order to get some advantage. Talk to me a little bit about what you experienced there at that NFT convention and the direction that you think NFTs are going.
Yeah, definitely. So at NFT NYC, I didn't have a ticket to the convention, but that was the consensus of a lot of the people that I went with, actually. Most of us didn't have tickets. We were really there to meet with the people who we've been talking to and been into these NFT communities with. Like, we were there to, party and have fun and meet and go to all these events and, get the swag and just have like the whole experience, the social experience that we've all like, sat at our computers. But now, like, dude, we're in real life and we can like have a beer and do cheers. It was awesome.
Yep.
So, so as far as the actual convention, I heard from people who did have a pass that they were, I don't want to say this because I don't like to talk bad about it, but that they were, maybe a little bit disappointed just because it was just, I don't know, they just had more fun at the ancillary events, pretty much, long story short. But maybe I'll get a ticket, some year, but this was my first year and I just really wanted to connect with everybody. So I got to meet some of the games that I have had on my show and work with, which was great. And I got to meet, I'm also a part, in addition to G Media, I got to meet Chibi Labs. That's the NFT community project that I work with. And so we had a party and I got to meet the people that I do the spaces with. And G Media, we didn't have our own party, but we were at the Kitty Inu party. And so it was a lot of like meeting people. And then it was crazy because you think like, oh, it's going to be like a little bit awkward the first time you meet people, but it totally wasn't. It was like everybody was just like, you know, arms open, welcome for a hug. And it was really just it was just amazing. And then going to some of the events like Cool Cats, they had a really big event, and it was cool because no pun intended, but it was cool because they did it really inclusive. Like you didn't have to have an NFT to get into it. And I really appreciated that because not everybody can afford a Cool Cats NFT. But they had such a cool space where you could like play games and get some swag with your points and all of that. So that was really cool.
Yeah,
Um, you know, and so that, that's just a general consensus is that it was fun.
that
But
sounds like a blast, actually.
yeah, it was. I would definitely recommend that anybody go and even though most of the people who came back from NFT NYC are sick, I think it's unfortunate, but I mean, I kind of expected it, I guess, a little bit, but I think it was worth it. Hopefully nobody gets too sick from it. But yeah, so as far as where do I see NFTs going, it's a little bit of a bear market right now. So I think it's a little bit tough for some small projects who are just trying to start. But I wouldn't say to give up. I would say don't give up, keep going, be tenacious, hop into spaces and really get to build trust with the community, build the trust, talk with them, be a presence, and then everything, I feel like as long as people just stay in the space and keep building and get their message across, that those are the people that are going to be around for a long time. And I do think that NFTs are going to be here in 5 years and 10 years and 20 years. I don't know exactly what they will look like in that point of time, but I know that they'll be here. I really believe in blockchain technology, and it's here to stay for sure.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's really exciting to hear, people coming together in real life. These communities are real. It's something that we pride ourselves on. The Floki Viking community is like no other. We have so many things that will happen as we climb up in market cap. We've got Vegas trips planned. We've got people getting tattoos together. We've had two babies born actually in one of our Valhalla clans already. Um, it's so fun, I think, to meet people in this space and for it to stop being such an anon space. Because, frankly, if we want to be mainstream, if we want to get out there and have everybody playing games like Valhalla, everybody in the NFT space, there has to be some level of professionalism like you and I have. It was easy for us to reach out, to have a chat with each other, to know that things were above board and we can talk about, you know, about, about crypto and about blockchain technology. It doesn't need to be this big secret where everybody is kind of hiding from the technology, right? I'm really excited about Valhalla for that very reason because of the clan system, which is novel. No one's ever done this before, and we expect to see it sometime during the alpha version per our dev, Mr. Brown Whale and Jackie. So I just can't wait to see those relationships that are formed playing a game like this that has clans and a community backing it of 410,000 Vikings, that we will all come together to play this game. It will give people an opportunity to earn a living in areas where an extra little bit every month makes a huge difference, right? That's one of the main goals of Valhalla, is to put it in the hands of people that can change their lives with it, to put food on the table for their families. Just an extra $100 a month in a place like Cuba or a place like Venezuela or a place like um, the Philippines. That they adopted Axie, as you saw. I heard you say you played Axie, which I played as well for a short period of time. Um, I want to know what your thoughts are on blockchain gaming. You talk to a lot of people in your spaces, right? That's what you do. You bring projects on. So this is kind of a role reversal for you today, I imagine, because usually people want to come and talk about their games. I want to know what you think about blockchain gaming, what excites you most about the metaverse and P2E in general, and what makes these games fun, what's missing. and what are you excited to see as these games develop? Like we're at Mario Brothers right now, so what do you want to see in the future?
For sure. Yeah, this is a little bit different for me, but I'm really enjoying it. You're easy to talk to, which I appreciate. So definitely good vibes there. But what do I see as exciting and fun? I mean, I think it's a little bit subjective, you know. I might really like Age of Empires, but you might really like Call of Duty. And so I think that we're all gonna find our little niche, and we'll all find something that is fun for us. Now, what is fun for me is, something that I can either like build on, get a little plot of land and be a farmer, and then build up my, build up my city, and then build walls around it, and then like go attack and get land, whatever the case may be, or something that I can like really just immerse myself in and play, and it's open world, and I can explore and gather resources and then make something out of that. And then the cool thing about NFT and blockchain gaming is that before, you're gathering resources and you're making things and you're selling them on a marketplace, but it's kept in the game. But now what's really cool is that everything is brought to life where we'll be able to craft something and we'll be able to sell it on a marketplace, and we can actually extract real value, kind of like you were saying with Axie. Like, people, it's changing their lives, and it really is. um, Blockchain means something different to everybody. To me, it might be an investment strategy, or something like that, but to somebody else it might be like changing their life. And I think that is really cool, and I think that we should all be very perceptive that, when we're in a space and somebody comes on. I was in a space last night and somebody from Africa came on and he said, NFTs are just kind of, they're just catching steam here, and I have a lot of questions. And I was like, dude, that's so badass. I love that. Let's talk more about it. And it's about educating the space. But before I go off on too much of a tangent there, what is exciting and fun? It depends on the person, but I think that when we talk about blockchain gaming, games need to be fun first. If a game is leading with, um, you're going to make X amount of money, or, it's a grind or whatever, it's like, okay, maybe you can make money off of it. But first, like, people have to want to play it. It needs to be fun. And so I think that we will see a lot of that. And there's definitely games out there now, depending on what kind of a game you like to play. There probably is a game for you. I do have a little lock on my account right now. Usually my account is open, but just because I was in New York and stuff like that, it's a little locked right now. But if anybody ever has any like questions, or, you know, this is the kind of game I like, what kind of game could I play? Definitely feel free to DM me. Those are open. But I'm super excited about playing Floki and playing Valhalla. I did play the demo, and I thought I thought it was really fun. It's not a game that I have played, or like a game that I have played on the blockchain before. So I really did enjoy that a lot.
Oh, great. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. You're not off the hook on what happened in the battle arena. So I'm so excited to hear you say that. It's probably good if you've got a lock on your account. You may want to close DMs after what you just said about crafting, about farming, about raiding for territory, because quite frankly, there are going to be some clans, some Valhalla clans that are out to get you, to recruit you to be part of their clans. So the clans have 25 people. Age of Empires is there. I see a lot of similarities there. Like I said, I played Clash of Clans for like 9 years and I got engrossed in that game, and in that, exactly what you said, and building up your own base, right? Collecting resources, as many resources as you could during the day, and raiding by night. So going and stealing other people's resources, right? Taking over other people's land, and all of those aspects are to be included in our open world concept. We saw some new artwork come out today. Maybe our host can pin that up, but we did see some new artwork come out today from the open world. Mr. Brownwell, our lead game dev, and Jackie, our blockchain dev, are doing an incredible job. You can see the pinned tweet right now for those folks that are looking at the spaces that it's exactly that. There's a house right there, and you can see the Vera, which is short for Virtil, which are the characters. I've heard them called monsters. I don't think they're monsters. I think they're cute and cuddly. The Pokemon, or whatever you want to call them, of Valhalla. That's what Erica, what you played with in the battle arena. So the version that we have out right now at Valhalla.game that everyone can play for free, even if they're not in crypto. I always want to emphasize that someone else's. We talked about crypto stories earlier about how Erica found Bitcoin and how I found Bitcoin and how that evolved into, well, look where we're at today. We're talking on a freaking spaces about about blockchain gaming, right? Somebody's story is going to be Valhalla. So many people's story is going to be Valhalla. How did you find out about crypto? Well, I joined a clan and started playing this game called Valhalla. And that's really what the goal of this game is, and it's a fun first attitude. Erica, I'm glad that you brought that up. The whole point behind this game is fun. That's what, if you join any of the AMAs, or you hear our devs speak about this, my favorite quote ever from Jackie is, "This is our love letter to the blockchain. Valhalla is our love letter to the blockchain." That's absolutely what you can feel in this game. That no details were left to spare. That it's built to be fun by gamers for gamers. It's not a AAA studio game where you have people from all around the world that are trying to patchwork together, code. It's a group. We have a dedicated group, 20 to 25. Usually it varies. Devs that are working under one roof in the Netherlands with this team, and they're building this game out of love and out of fun. And I truly believe that this will be the first game. You mentioned Axie. I played it as well. It's funny because you hear it always is the same thing. It's okay to play. I play it, I earn some money, but it's not the most fun game in the world. You hear that often, and that's just for all the blockchain games. Like a lot of them that I see up to this point, I call it the GameFi 1.0 problem, which is kind of known in the space. They're made to just extract tokens and to be a bit of a mercenary, to crash into a game with a guild and to earn as much as you can, as fast as you can, to extract what you can out of the game. And that's what excites me so much about Valhalla. You see this house here, which we've talked about in the AMAs. You may be able to purchase or to stake your claim to these houses in some way, shape, or form. Who knows what you'll be able to do in there? If you'll be able to display items that you have, maybe, or if you'll be able to have your clan chats in there, whatever it may be. It's going to be an incredibly immersive experience for everyone to enjoy, everyone to play, and that's it. Floki's the people's cryptocurrency, and this is going to be the people's blockchain game, I think. um, okay, you're not off the hook. You did play the alpha battle arena. That's just about 5% of what the whole game will be. um, so tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, definitely. And I do have to say that if anybody is interested in playing, I'm sure a lot of your community is in here and they've played. But if you go to Cobra Kai's Twitter, he's got a pinned post and he actually walks you through like how you can download the test net to your MetaMask wallet and then actually get some of those test net tokens. And so that's super important. And if you haven't done that before, and if you haven't downloaded a test net or gone and put in any other networks like Polygon or Harmony One, if you haven't done that, it's a really good way to kind of like expand your knowledge about the networks and everything like that. So just a quick thing there. But to answer your question, once I followed your tutorial and then I got in and I started playing, I was like, it's really fun. And I'm not surprised because, I know that you wouldn't stand behind something that wasn't fun, but it is actually really fun. And there's a lot of detail I feel that went into it from the interface, which is actually really easy to use. There are some skills that you have to use as you're playing, and you can just kind of hover over the skill to see what it does. And so that's your arsenal. So right now, from what I gather, it's a player versus environment. So there is not an actual player on the other side, it's AI. So you're playing against the computer basically. And the computer is not easy. I lost the first time I played, I lost. And I told you, I'm like, I poisoned myself to death on accident. I played as the hush room and I got like this like cloud of toxic spores and I walked into it and you were like, I don't think you can poison yourself, but you probably did get poisoned and die. So yeah, there you go. So but
Yeah, yeah.
no, were you gonna say something? You can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that was hilarious that the spore bomb lasts for 3 turns, and I think that's what probably happened to you. If you stay in the cloud of spores, then the damage doubles, and a lot of people think that when they first get hit with one, they're like, "Why am I dying? Why am I dying? It's my own spore bomb." But you were probably standing in the opponent's spore bomb as well. And the AI portion, it is AI right now, but stay tuned on that because it's going to be PvP, and that's when it's going to get really fun. So, but continue.
Thank you. So another thing that I really liked about it is that it does get a little bit intense. There's a timer, and so as you're playing, the time is counting down. But what is really cool, and you had talked about the music, and I really noticed that the attention to detail, and it's a if the music for the whole entire game is going to be similar to this, it's going to be amazing. But as you start playing and as the timer counts down, the music gets more intense. And so you're like, oh shit, like all of these tiles are disappearing. I really need to get my opponent. I really need to win this. So overall, I mean, from the music to the interface, the graphics are good. I really do like the graphics. Is it, I can't remember, is it built in Unity or it's not
Yeah,
in Unreal? It's Unity. Okay. Yeah.
yep,
And so that's good for anybody who wants to play as well because you're not going to need a supercomputer to play it. So that's pretty intrinsic with Unity. But yeah, I really liked it. I like the animations. The Veras were really cool. And so if this is only 5% of the game, I am really, really, really excited to see what else the developers have up their sleeve.
yeah, very, very cool. Thank you for sharing that. That tutorial video. I tell people this all the time. Don't follow me on Twitter. It's tied to our official YouTube channel as well. You can get it in our Telegram. You can get it right there in the pinned tweet. I think that's there. But yes, that tutorial is so important. I think because, like I said, we can get people into blockchain gaming that have never owned crypto. You don't have to own any crypto. You don't ever have to have owned any crypto. All you need is a PC and you need a Twitter account that is more than 30 days old that has more than 15 followers. Actually, there's actually other test nets bootstraps where you can get tokens drip for Koban Optimism testnet, but this is the easiest way to do it. It's really simple. If you give somebody that link, I'm interested to know, Erica, how long did it take you to get into the game using that?
Honestly, it was about the length of the video. So what is it, like 5 minutes?
6 minutes, 5 minutes,
6 minutes.
6 minutes. Yeah. So
So quick.
fantastic. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. That's it, and that's what we can do now to this. Just for my Floki Vikings out there that say there's a lot of people that are interested in win this, win that. Well, the more users that use your product, the more attractive you become to partners, to exchanges, to the world. Right? That's the whole thing is to get players in the game. So even though this is only an alpha test version, you don't need any NFTs to play it. You don't need any NFTs to play the first major version. For what everything we've heard up to this point, it's going to be accessible for everybody. I heard you mention earlier, Erica, about a group where you had to own a certain NFT to go to their party, whatever. Most of these games that are out there now, you have to buy some expensive NFT or you have to put some large amount of money in to be able to play. Can't put a dollar amount on it, but I've heard Mr. Brownwell and Jackie say many times that we want this game to be accessible to all. So we're talking about a few bucks of Floki token to get into the game and to start to play, to start to build your characters. So each of those Vera, Erica, are also NFTs. I don't know if you knew that, but that Hush Room that you played with, that is one of a kind. It is one of 9 quadrillion of that particular Vera. That's how many there are of each one. So in a full version where you're playing to earn, every single time that you fight a battle and you win, you increase those stats. Every time you get an upgradable item that you can craft, which we've talked about in the AMAs as well, as there will be upgradable items in the game. Anytime you do those things, you're increasing the value of your Valhalla portfolio. Let's call it that. Your portfolio inside the game increases with the amount of time that you spend playing, and that might be earning Floki tokens from quests, or it might be earning NFTs or farming resources and then selling those resources to another player who needs those resources to go do a raid. So it's got all of those aspects. The battle arena is where you train your Vera, right? And it will be PvP sooner rather than later, Erica. And when that happens, it's on. By the way, we will need to have a head-to-head battle. Maybe we can do it. Maybe you can battle Not a Whale, our Twitch streamer. I hope he's out there listening now. In 20 minutes, we will usher all of you over to Twitch, which we have a live stream that happens every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. UTC, which is right at the tail end of this. And you can see what we're talking about if you haven't seen Valhalla. See the gameplay live. It is incredible to watch, and I'm just so excited about this game, as you guys can tell. One thing you mentioned that I have to talk about is the music. So the music, for those that are in our Telegram, if you type in /Valhalla, you get a full list. We have a SoundCloud out there. The music's actually trademarked. Funny story on that. The Our Twitch streamer actually couldn't play our own music for a bit there in the Floki official, I believe, because of trademarks. But the music for Valhalla, there was a professional audio team that specializes in games that are addictive, and the music that's in them and the layering of the music is so important. Right now there's 3 songs out there. The one that you heard, if you just started playing, is called The Men of Asgard. There's a second song that you earn if you want to keep leveling up your Vera, ma'am. You can get more songs unlocked, which will um, make the game more fun, and your Vera more valuable, quote unquote, as you continue to play on, as they gain experience and et cetera, et cetera. So the next song that you can get is Berserker, and then if you go really high up, I think it's level 13. You get Thor's Hammer, which is my favorite. So if anybody wants to try to grind a Vera, Thor's Hammer is the one. Speaking of Vera, we just had a leak today that I absolutely have to share. If we can get it pinned up there. But we have a new Vera. It looks to be coming very soon. We have a patch that's coming soon. I don't know if the Vera will be in that patch, but he sure looks like he's getting close to be ready. And it's a carrot Vera. So if we can pin that up there, it'll give some people something to look at, I think, for the remainder of the chat here. Erica, I wanted to talk a little bit about let me see here. I got to get back into our chat because people are asking me questions here. So, yeah. Um, what questions do you have now that you've played Valhalla? You said you can't wait to see. There's the carrot. I see him posted up top there now. He's really fun to look at. In this video, he rips his arm off and he reattaches it, which is absolutely terrifying. So it's nice because we've had Bjorn's a little bit rough around the edges, but Mad Hatter's a cute little guy, I think, and the Hushroom is just cute as a button. I mean, I want a Hushroom plush toy, you know, to put around the house. Like that's how I think of these as like the Pokemon. But you got to have the mean Pokemon too, right? You can't just have Pikachu. You've got to have Charizard too. So, Erica, what questions do you have about Valhalla, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know if it's necessarily a question. Well, it is a question. So do you know, have there been any other leaks of any type of other types of Veras besides the ones that are out now? The carrot, the hushroom, the bear, and then there's another one, right?
The hat, the Mad Hatter.
The hat. Yep, the Mad Hatter. So has there been any other information of which other ones there may be coming down the pipeline?
I'm glad you asked. Yes. So once again, if you go into the Telegram, you can type in that /Valhalla. and it's going to give you a drop down. There is an official leaks channel, a Valhalla leaks channel, and we have one dev in particular, I won't mention his name, that has an addiction to leaking. He's the president of the United Leaks of Valhalla, and that's what I like to call him. And there is a lot out there. So we actually have a sticker set in our Telegram as well that one of our Floki legends, Pink Shark, made. And you can go into the chat for those that are in there now. I'm going to drop some of the stickers right now. You can see these stickers. If you count the stickers up, there are right now, I think, around, I want to say maybe 15 to 20 Vera that I can see. And oh, there's one of the stickers right there. Thank you, Shark. She just dropped the pony, which is her favorite one. It's like a fire pony. Um, Fire wolf is another one. There's one that looks like a wolf with blue flames coming out, which I don't know if it's fire flames or ice flames, but maybe his abilities will have something to do with that. There's a honey badger that's got a bee. There's a snake. There's a little fox. It looks like a little blue fox. There's a little lizard looking with kind of a cat face. They're all incredible. There's a woolly mammoth, and they've all got the rune symbols on them. So each Vera has its own rune. So how do you get 9 quadrillion variations? Well, here's how you do it. Every little characteristic of these NFTs, which are minted on the blockchain, instantly when you popped in the game and that Hushroom came up, he's minted. He's yours to keep until you re-roll him, in which case he goes back into the opponent pool. So the AI that you were fighting, Erica, was somebody else's Vera that they threw away. So that's how it works within the system is when you re-roll and get a new Vera, then your old one goes into the opponent pool and it will fight other players. Fun fact on that is if you lose, so when you lost, um, you made the bot army stronger. The Vera actually, the AI Vera, continue to level up if they win matches. So as you play, when we first started playing, it was really, really easy to beat the AI. It was Mad Hatter and Bjorn, that was it. And now that Hushroom came out, he completely uh, he made it he made it so much harder and so much more fun with that Spore Bomb. That Spore Bomb is OP, to be honest. And we'll see as they build balance into the game what happens. The Hailstorm used to be that way. So there's a Hail rune, there's a Sun rune, there's a Nature rune, and there is Hail, Fire, Nature. Which one am I missing? Oh my gosh.
Air?
No, nope. Nature. Oh, maybe it's just those three runes right now. Nature, yeah, nature, fire, hail right now are the runes that are out there. But there are why did I add an extra one? There are more to come. So up to I think I've heard a number like 8 runes perhaps. They have personality characteristics. They can be shy, they can be serious, they can be aggressive. So there's going to be 100 or more Vera at some point. To answer your question directly, we've seen about 15 to 20 concept art that are leaked. Some of those will get chopped on the cutting room floor, I'm sure. As you develop a game, right, you have an idea, you think, okay, this one's going to be good. Then you start developing it and you think, oh, okay, well, this one isn't so good. We don't like how it looks. Let's go back to the drawing board. I'm sure that some of these will come out and some of them we may not see. But each time you see them kind of on this gray screen that you've got the carrot on here, when they start to come to life, they start to move, and Mr. Brownwell starts to leak them, then you can rest assured that you're probably going to see that Vera in the game. So that's a great question. Thanks for asking. Plan to have over 100 at some point, and they've been coming out pretty steadily. We just launched the game February 28th, so March, April, May, June. We're in June right now, right? And we have Bear, Hat, Mushroom, and now it looks like Carrot very, very soon. So these guys have been really, really busy. Thank you for that question. I really appreciate it. At this time, if people want to start to drop some questions in the Telegram chat, I'll try to field some of those as well. I'm looking at it, but I want to ask one more question to Erica here, and then we'll have about 10 minutes to kind of wrap up and take questions. So, did you know Floki before you and I met on your spaces, first of all? Yes or no?
Yes, I'm glad that you asked that because I actually was going to say something about that just for like I really like to be transparent about everything. And so last night I'm like, I think I might have like a little bit of Floki. When all of the dog coins were going
Yeah.
crazy, I think I did get a little bit of Floki. It's not a substantial amount. But yes, I have heard of it. And I think the reason why I decided to get some is because I was in a chat and I can't remember who does your marketing, but he was like, we're going to have Floki plastered all over all of the buses in Europe. And I was like, holy shit, let's go. So I was like, let me get a little bit of Floki. But to build upon that a little bit, I want everybody to know that I'm not here because they're paying me. I don't like the word influencer because I associate it with Schiller. And I'm here not for that. I'm here because I love games. I love crypto. I love to open people's imaginations of what is possible, educate them, connect with people, and everything like that. So I just wanted to throw that out there for full transparency and why I'm here. And Cobra is awesome. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So yeah, I think I made a new friend, Cobra. I think you're
Yeah,
my friend
I
now.
think so. I think that yeah, we might have to be stuck with each other. So I'm glad that you said that. Thank you. And that's my story too. So for those that don't know, that haven't been on these spaces before, I'm just a community member from Floki. I'm just a guy that got locked up in his house from COVID and had some crypto and found this token Floki. My Floki story has to do with the charity aspect of what we do, but I'm so glad that you mentioned the London campaign, because that was the first campaign when you bought your Floki. And this is news to me. Erica Cheever is a Viking. There you go, guys. So, Erica, you're going to have to join the Telegram and just come in there and drop a GIF or something. There is no party like the Floki party in our Telegram. It is something spectacular. We've also got a great Discord group. You might be a Discord gal if that's your jam, but please join one so you can keep up on what's happening. We actually had Floki ads all over London again this month. Just so you know, we're still in the tube there on the buses, and we've still got 2 more months to come. So you met Saber. Saber is the marketing guru that yeah, it wasn't just plastered in London. It's been plastered on the backs of 8 global football clubs now that we sponsor. It's on an F1 race car, 2 F1 race cars for the entire season. So 3 billion eyes will sets of eyeballs roughly in a year we'll see Floki in the real world. That includes TV ads. So we had TV ads here in the United States, not in an area where you are. I don't think it was through the Spectrum network. So we've been on TV in Turkey now. We ran a 60-day ad campaign there, and this is all centered around this game, Erica. So this is our flagship utility, and the Floki brand is out there now. And as our utility builds, we're going to continue to advertise in ways that are, quite frankly, disruptive in the space. So, did you learn anything about? You and I have chatted a lot here in the last couple of days. Did you learn anything about Floki that surprised you?
Yeah, so the biggest takeaway that I had from our conversation last night is I can tell that the creators and the community of Floki has a huge heart because you guys are building the schools, and that just really like I have 2 kids, and every time I see a kid that like needs something, like it breaks my heart, and I just that's so important to me. I'm glad that Floki is not only like you know putting their logos on buses and soccer teams and everything like that, but you guys are actually doing real world good, which is incredible, and building schools for communities that need it and getting them water, and just every single kid should have access to the internet and to a good education. And there's one quote that just it sticks and it resonates with me my whole entire life, and it's, what if the cure for cancer is trapped inside somebody that can't afford college? And I just, that was really amazing to hear. And when you shared those pictures with me, I was like, Floki is like so much more than it appears once you dive in and you really like get to see what you guys are doing behind the scenes. It's pretty incredible.
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that. You know that that's near and dear to my heart and our core team and our community's hearts. We did. We completed our first school on the 18th of May, and commissioned it in Nigeria. It's got 6 classrooms. It's got a computer lab. It's got technology, internet, a borehole for the community to drink water from. It's things like that. These children didn't even have a clean water source nearby, and it is so incredible to see this outreach and how this will tie into Valhalla. These two things aren't disconnected. Valhalla's intention is to be in the hands of as many people in these kinds of places where a few extra bucks can help, where education can absolutely help, where where you can, like you said, the cure for cancer, the next Elon Musk, who's big in this space, everybody seems to like a lot. The next Albert Einstein is what I like to say. The next Beethoven, um, the next Justin Timberlake. Who knows? All of these people are out there in the world right now, and education equity is something that is so important because it allows these children to have a chance, and I just can't wait. We have 3 more schools that are near completion in Laos, in Ghana, in Guatemala. The goal is to build at least one Floki school in every continent, and then one in every underdeveloped, underserved country in the world. And to think about that, about those children that might create the next game, like Valhalla, that might create the next Bitcoin, whatever, the next anything, they could come from a Floki school. It just it's just it's just absolutely incredible. So thank you for mentioning that. I don't see any questions popping up here in the TG chat. If anybody has them, feel free to drop them in. Erica, I just dropped in our chat. You're being welcomed. That's what happens. You trend in the Floki Viking community. It says, "Welcome, Erica, new Viking," and they are very, very excited to know that you had some Floki that you bought way back. We did have some contract upgrades, so do make sure to get the new contracts and add those into your MetaMask or your Trust wallet if you haven't done it yet. You could be holding old Floki, but the airdrop came out in January, so you should have some new tokens waiting for you there. It's just a really, really exciting time. Meme coins don't build schools in other countries, right? They don't build games like Valhalla. That's what utility metaverse tokens do. We've got our Project L coming out very soon, which will have utility as well and create some revenue for the project. It's just also exciting what's happening here. Bull market, bear market. For us, it's just about building, and you'll see that in everything that Floki does. So I know you've got just a few minutes left, and you've got to get back to work. So, ma'am, what would you like to say as we close?
I would just like to say thank you. Thanks for having me on. It was really nice to talk with you again. It's good to connect with the Floki community. I truly believe that regardless of if you're, into Floki and you play Valhalla, or you're in a different community and you play a different game, that we're all in this together. That's one thing that I really took away from NFT NYC as well, is that we all want each other to win. Yes, it can be a little bit competitive, but at the same time, like, if you make it, I'm going to make it. If she makes it, he's going to make it. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's the crypto community as a whole. And so, yeah, I just thanks everybody for coming and, listening to my raspy voice. And thanks, Cobra, for having me on. I really appreciate it. And the Floki community and everybody else who joined.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica, for joining us today. I could not be more appreciative. Thank you for your knowledge. It's really cool to see people like you in this space that aren't out there to chase clout, that aren't out there to do anything but to promote blockchain technology, to promote community, to promote gaming. And I really love your spaces for that, because you provide a platform for people that are out here doing the right things, building the right way with good intentions, as not all have in this space sometimes. And this is the direction of crypto. This is the direction of blockchain. If we don't go in this direction, then then we won't grow. And like you said, the rising tides, the rising tides raise all the ships. And your success is our success, and our success is someone else's success. So as long as folks are out there building in this space and they're doing new and exciting things, let's go. We're gonna make it. Doesn't matter if the market's red. We've lived through it before. Eric and I have. We've been through crypto winter, right? And we've been through. We've seen some things, as they say. So if you've seen some things, you know that right now is the time to build, the time to accumulate for some investors, a time to hold for others. But it is not a time to panic, because things are happening that will make real world change, and that's really what needs to happen. So thank you again, Erica, very very much for joining. We do have our Twitch stream starting here in 60 seconds. So if you go to the Floki official, or if we can get it pinned really quickly here, join Twitch. You can see this game live. You can see Not a Whale, our official Twitch streamer. He is a lot of fun. He owes me a rematch right now because I tried to sabotage a game in the Valhalla Battle Arena, and I'm going to say it right now, I lost. However, there is a caveat there, and I think that I deserve a rematch, sir. So I'll take my L. GG. Erica, GG. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next time here and Go into Valhalla.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much.